We're going live.
We're going live. How's everybody? Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's sure is. It's a pretty good Friday for me. Pretty happy that it's beautiful outside. I got people working on my deck right now to get it all stained and looking brand new, and it's not me out there.
Nice.
As frustrating as that is, sometimes it's nice. Also, how's your guys' week been?
It's been good, man. It's been a busy week. A lot of driving this week. Different projects, checking on things. I have projects in different parts of the city. So actually in different cities, I should say. So that I spend a lot of time on the road, but I find it's a great way to get on, a lot of phone calls. I'm always on the phone, and I get a lot done actually in the car. So it's almost like a second office.
Yeah, your mobile office.
It's really like my primary office, to be honest with you, because I'm there more than my actual office.
Yeah.
Brad could probably shed some light on that. He's in his office.
Yeah. I'm on the road a lot. I'm not sure if I'm actually getting a lot of stuff done on the road, though.
Not getting a whole lot accomplished on your road.
It's just a lot of back and forth when I'm on the road.
Yeah. Where are you heading now, man? You must be heading to a project. You got the pencil in your ear, the carpenter's pencil, so I know you're focused.
Yeah. Measuring some stuff.
I ran out of some house. I had to go pick some up so that I can seal up the side of this house, seeing as it's raining. So, well, I guess it's not raining anymore, but.
Yeah, Shawn, we don't have your nice weather here in Ontario, man. We're today's one of the less desirable days weather-wise. Lots of rain.
Yeah, we were like that earlier in the week, so we're just happy that the sun's out and it's like 30 degrees today. It's nice.
How I know I'm happy because the big box stores are open again, so we can like go inside and look at materials, touch them, like we're not basing it off the color of our screen that day, doing the whole virtual thing. So that's pretty cool, man.
Well, I don't know how many things you should be going inside and touching.
Yeah.
Just let's touch things now.
Well, hands-on, man. I'm hands-on.
Oh, no, I mean, that's awesome, though. Like, I mean, the restrictions are kind of lightening up a little bit there, so that's good news, right? So, why don't you introduce yourself, Cali, and tell everybody why we're here.
Can't wait, man. So everybody, hey, thanks for tuning in. Happy Friday. We're going live. 4 of us. Alex is super busy today, so he couldn't make it, but I'm sure he's sending positive vibes over here. The 4 of us decided to get together a few weeks ago, probably almost 20 weeks ago, and kind of, share our weekly journeys with the people that we, connect with on a regular basis, and some new people who want to, keep up to date with what we're doing. And this is our way of kind of letting everyone know what we're up to instead of, doing a monologue selfie in front of the device. And it's kind of hard when no one's responding to you. So we decided to have a conversation with this. And I'm Cali Braithwaite. I'm out of the GTA. I'm focused on flips this year, assignments. And I have a little flyer business for people who are wholesaling. So if you want to reach out to me and discuss some of the deals I'm working on, or you want to get an awesome deal on your printing and mailing, give me a call, 289-207-5316. You can follow me on Instagram, Grow with Cali, or find me on Facebook, Cali Braithwaite. Thanks a lot, Shawn.
Anytime. All right, you give her Brad?
Yeah, Brad Plume, working on flips right now. Going to be working on a duplex conversion coming up here fairly soon. Working in the Gray and Bruce counties and also the Tri-Cities is the kind of the main focused area. You can hit me anytime, 519-379-791, or at brad.plume on Instagram.
Awesome. And I'm Sean Gunther. I'm in the Moncton, New Brunswick area, and I'm mostly focused on assignments, but looking to expand all the time. So we're looking to bring some new people on with the team. So if anybody's interested in buying, selling, or investing here in New Brunswick, give me a shout at 506-800-4289 or on Instagram at the Moncton Wholesaler or just on Facebook Sean Gunther. But yeah, if there's anybody out there watching, if you have, we love to see your comments and we love to have some interaction and stuff like that too. So, feel free to put out some comments or ask any questions during the call. We'll try to get to them as best we can. But yeah, so like what's been your guys' main focus this week?
Well, I can hop in there. I've been kind of delving into some things that are way bigger than me that I really don't know that much about, but I've been given an opportunity to, get involved on some development projects, and it's pretty cool. Just being in the room, being part of those conversations. Quite often, just like you, myself, Brad, Alex, when we're talking, quite often the numbers are the hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. And these conversations have been in the millions, so tens of millions. So it's something that when you think of yourself as a real estate entrepreneur, investor, eventually you just add another zero or zeros to what you're doing. The same amount of work is required or attention to detail. So it's almost like, if we can work on these larger projects, the return on time is 10x or whatever x, but the same amount of time invested gives you a much larger result. But it's the confidence I'm finding, and the network in order to get into that room and have those opportunities. But for me, I'm just right now pretty much a fly on the wall. I'm just soaking it up and just trying to experience it, man. I mean, I think right now it's about the journey. I'm still working on my own business development and, my own flips and my own projects, but it's nice to expand a little bit and get exposed to these other, opportunities. So I was in a few meetings, regarding this larger development project in Toronto. It's bigger than I would have ever thought of, but again, the people and you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and sometimes those people, like they said, it's good to be the dumbest person in the room, right?
No, that's awesome. That sounds pretty exciting, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would like to be in those rooms, like, you know what I mean? So I for a fact you're loving being there, and just the knowledge that you're accumulating being involved in this. And I mean, and you're so right when you talk about like the amount of money, like, because I mean, even a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have even thought that I'd be talking about deals in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, it's just adding another zero, right? Or another couple of zeros. And really, if the numbers make sense and what the risk tolerance is for whoever the investors are, and you have investors that, are able to play at that level, the conversations are all really the same.
You know what, too? Yeah. Is that at the level that we're at right now, again, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and whatever that's referring to, it just seems like that's kind of where we're at. I can speak for myself. That's where I'm at in the business I'm dealing with, is that when you go and add a few other zeros and you're, let's say, raising capital or going to get permits or whatever, all the things that we should be doing at the $10,000, $100,000 level, it forces you to do those things at the million and 10 million. You know what I mean? Like you have to put together a pitch deck when you're raising the capital. It's not just a conversation. Yeah. Hey man, I got this thing going on. It forces you to do the things that we should be doing at this level that sometimes we may, take a shortcut because we think, oh, it's only, a smaller amount.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, I've been realizing that all this week. Like this week I spent a lot of time just kind of putting my time into the business, like working on the business as opposed to working in the business. So we created a whole bunch of processes that we're able to follow and things like that. And it just made me realize like how lucky that I've been just with my network and like you buying a lot of my deals, right? Like I haven't had to, have each and everything kind of all drawn out and ready to go for, you know what I mean? It's given me the ability. I'm very grateful, and it's given me the ability to learn all this stuff. But it's also made me realize this last week, like, wow, like we could be, putting so much more into the business and getting so much more data back to scale so much more that it's just interesting to see, like this week, that all the steps that we've made, the strides that we've made towards actually building the business this week has just been very, very eye-opening and large, like good for the business, right?
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, like it's interesting. Like start getting into it. Like I avoided it for so long, just because it was always that elephant in the room. It's like, oh, okay, like I don't really.
Tax time comes around, you can't avoid it when tax time comes around, right?
Well, I mean, we've gotten to the point too, like where we kind of know this is happening, so it's better to go forth and actually create the processes and kind of actually build out the business as opposed to pushing it off any further. And the more that I do this, the more that I realize I need to hire somebody. So I think it's just the inevitable growth going along the path, right? So yeah.
It's easy to be busy and not necessarily be doing the right things, but just doing the busy things that are still good, still need to be get done, still need to, like, that's how you're making money and stuff. But I'm there. I get it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's a good excuse to be busy, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I'm busy, so that is on the back burner, right? But that thing on the back burner could catch fire. You know what I mean? That's the thing that sets the house on fire, right? So you got to make sure that you pay attention to that back burner and don't neglect it too much, right?
Exactly, and I think it was a big eye opener. One of the deals that ended up falling apart on us. I think it was one of the big eye openers for me, and I was like, okay, well, whether I could go and actually blame the other side, but I mean, why go about doing that? I turned it around and said, okay, so what can I do better to try to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future or continue to happen, right? Because it was nothing to do with my side or their side, really. It's just I felt like the relationship wasn't built well enough, and there wasn't enough information, like communication going back and forth, because mostly being a one-man show on this, like, some stuff gets pushed to the side, right? Like it was a deal that we had locked up. It was a quick arrangement. We kind of signed the contract and went forward. Everything went smoothly as far as I know, but I think he didn't feel like he was getting enough attention in the meantime, like in between, to make sure that to give them the confidence that we were going to be able to close, or whatever the reason was. Like it ended up just kind of falling apart. And I took that as a reason to start building the business out more, so we make sure that things aren't falling through the cracks. That if I would have caught it earlier, potentially we could have saved the deal or something like that, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the small things are the things that actually matter. Like, even myself, I was sitting looking at stuff the other day and I was like, man, I've been doing so much driving lately for work, and I've missed so many days where I didn't log my kilometers and stuff. And it's just like, oh man, I can't even go back and figure those out now. And really all it would have taken me was 2 seconds to write it down when I started the truck and write it down when I shut the truck off.
Yeah.
Is any apps for that, Brad?
Yeah. We had, like, I'm using an app now for it.
Cool.
What app is it? Because I never remember to do that.
The one that I have now, it just automatically logs every stop and start. Like, as long as you have your phone with you, so you gotta have your phone with you, obviously. But so every time you like move or stop, that you're there for longer than, I forget what the certain number, a minute or longer, so it's not like registering every time you're stopping in traffic, and then you just scroll through it at the end of the day and go, oh yeah, that was business, nope, that was personal, yeah, business, personal. And so
I think QuickBooks has a version that you can download. Also, there's actually lots of them, Sean. If you just like go to your app store and type in tracking, like mileage tracking apps
Okay.
for business, you'll be overwhelmed with the amount of options. But I mean, QuickBooks is pretty reputable, so I'm using them right now. So piece of advice, you can check that out.
Nice. Yeah, like I mean, I've been interested in this too, and I keep thinking about it every time I go take a drive and look at a place. I'm like, I should be logging my kilometers, and then I'm like, where did I start? And then it's like, okay, now I got to try to backlog all this. And then just okay, I got to figure this out later. And then there's the back burner again, just coming up.
It's funny for me with my vehicle, it's almost all business. If I'm driving the family vehicle, then it's pleasure. So it's almost like I can pretty much if I didn't have the app, it wouldn't be that difficult to measure what's going towards the business and what's personal, right? But just the way things have worked out for me.
Well, and that's kind of the same thing with me. Like if I get in my truck, chances are I'm going to do something for the business.
Right.
I mean, like if we get in the van and there's all the kids there, we're going to do some kind of family thing or whatever. But if I'm in my truck, it's 99.9% chance that it's going to be a business thing. I don't really do much else other than that, unless it's like some kind of family excursion anyway, right? Start to realize how much time you actually spend working on in the business, right?
I'm going to put it out there. Anybody listening or watching who is an accountant who wants to hop on one of our going lives, please just send us a message. We'd love to have some kind of expert counsel, provide value for us and anybody else who's following us. So just a little plug there for accountants out there who want to get your name out there and be part of the action.
Yeah, accountants I'd always like to sit and kind of just talk to an accountant about things that you can and can't do or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's things that you don't even think about.
Oh yeah,
logging your kilometers, one, right? Like everybody thinks that everybody thinks that they need to save their gas receipts, but that's not really the way it goes unless like the vehicle is 100% to your company vehicle, right?
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing is like every accountant will have a different opinion on how you should go about those, but like from my end, like our accountant anyway, his recommendation was until you actually have a vehicle that's dedicated specifically for only the business, or you're starting to have a fleet of vehicles, then at the end of the day, you're better off just buy the vehicle personally and just log all your kilometers for your business work, and then write your kilometers off at the end of the year, and then that way you're just keeping track of just your kilometers versus needing your kilometers and your receipts and all that other jazz and stuff. So
maybe even better than getting an accountant, we need to get like a CRA auditor on you. Just ask them.
What can we get away with?
Yeah.
You might get different answers from them too.
I know. It's just so crazy, man. Like, how do you, what do you do, man? You just, I guess, yeah.
Wasn't there something like with Donald Trump's like taxes returns or something like that? He paid like $700 or something like that in taxes. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, I want to talk to that guy's accountant. Everybody's like, I'm like, oh my God, he only paid this much of taxes. I'm like, who is he talking to? How did he figure out that he only had to pay $700? Like,
that's all personal though. He never takes an income from his own personal businesses. Everything is all business.
Right.
So he's paying a ridiculous amount of taxes on the business, but himself personally, he's like negligible. Yeah.
Well, you start to realize too when you're running a business, like how much of your expenses are like business expenses, really. Like, I mean, I've noticed that really, like, I was going to set up something for the office the other day, and like I went and drove somewhere and I bought it like with my personal bank card. I'm like, wait a minute, like this is all for the business. Now I got to go into the business, reimburse, and blah 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 blah. Right? But it's an interesting transition. Anyways, I think I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, it continues to go as well as it has been, so or better.
Yeah, I think you're totally right, man. There's a bit of growing pains, like just getting used to, I had because it takes a while to, establish enough credit for your company to get its own credit card.
Mhm.
So I had the credit card that I was using for day to day, and I had to convert that into the business credit card. But sometimes you get to the grocery store and you're like, oh, smack, that's for the business. Like, this is the business credit card now, right?
Yeah.
So you just make those little errors. But I think as long as you are transparent and you explain, your accountant will know, hey, this is groceries, obviously not for the business, unless you're hosting a party or something along the,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you mean? I'm always hosting parties.
Yeah,
We're in the wrong province, Cali.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Come down to my parties. If you guys are there, it's always business. I can prove that. We talk about business all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, geez. No, like, I mean, we just kind of opened up a little bit more here too. I think people are actually allowed to visit us here in New Brunswick now. So, if you guys do want to come, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
One of these days, man, you're going to see me out there for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, man, 100%. Definitely, you should come down. Like, at least see one of these projects that you're.
Well, I mean,
Cali's gonna come and he's gonna be like, "Oh, this is the half of the town that I bought."
Well, he's gonna go down this one street and he's just gonna see like on either side of the road, like, "Oh, I bought that one." And 5 minutes it takes to get across town, and Cali bought friggin' half of them. So.
Couldn't have done it without you, man. Couldn't have done it without you.
I couldn't have done it without you. So we're all...
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, we've got lots going on here too, and we just put out a new campaign. So like, more stuff just keeps going, keeps rolling, and we got all our analytics and stuff in place now. So yeah, I have a feeling that next year will definitely be a very solid year for data, right? Like, because I mean, if we were able to start right off the hop and have everything tracked well, now that we got these processes in place, I'm excited to see how things move forward.
That's awesome. It's interesting. Like, it's good that, especially yourself, you're starting these processes as early in the business as you are. Like, for right now, when you look at the business, it may not seem as early, right? But 5 years, 8 years, 10 years from now, this is all like starting out, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to wait, 5 years, 10 years from now to implement these proper processes, it's going to be a lot more challenging. Conversation I was in, some of these partners that, sitting down talking about this development project, there's two guys that are very seasoned entrepreneurs. They have successful companies. One guy realized a few years ago, hey, I got to hire people to do these things so I can go out and play golf and enjoy my time and get involved in these type of ventures. Where the other guy is very successful as well, but he's consumed with meetings and appointments and like he's in the business. You know what I mean? So the other guy says to him, hire it out, man. And the one guy is like, he laughs. He's like, I know, but I just got to be in control, right? So.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think that's a hurdle that everyone, especially if someone's a driver, right? Like, it's difficult to give up that control. Like, there's the guy's standing my deck, and I'm just like every morning, like kind of looking at his progress. I'm like, I probably could have done this faster and better, whatever. But the whole point is like, I'm not doing it. But at the same time, there's that voice in my head that's still telling me, like, why are you paying this guy? Why are you paying this guy?
He's not watching?
What's that?
You sure he's not tuned in? We're going live? He might be.
Yeah, I don't think he's kind of on the whole we're going live situation. But yeah, like, I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing to give out control of different things, right? And I can understand, the apprehension of doing that, but at the same time, it's a natural progression. Like, you have to, if that's your goal, is to run a business all the time and just be busy, then it's very easy to do that. But if your goal is to actually just be a business owner, where the business doesn't rely on you 100%, then I mean you have to, right?
Yep.
I think it's one of those, you don't know till you try, right?
Yeah.
So you may think that the business needs you to be that person to like pull every switch and hit every lever, but I think until you try it, you don't know, right? So I think it's definitely worth trying it, and that's the scary part, is like uncharted territory, right? The unknown, you know?
Yeah. No, and I agree. And I think the part that I'm kind of at now is like, okay, I know I'm going to have to hire somebody, but I'm going to have to train them, right? So it's like, okay, and it's going to be such a I don't know, an experience. It's going to be a learning curve for both of us, because it's going to be like me trying to teach them how I go about doing things, but I might not be doing it the best way. Maybe they'll have better processes or better ways of doing stuff than I do, right? But also at the same time, I want to make sure that they're able to perform at least 60 to 80%. I'd say 80% of what I'm able to do, right? So as far as revenue and stuff like that goes, right? So there's just there's certain things that you got to kind of figure out before you hire somebody. I think, as much as we kind of keep pushing, like, okay, go hire. But to me, it's just like, what am I going to have to do? They're going to sit here and be looking at me like, oh, what do you want me to do? And I was like, well, I'll handle this. And I'm not really sure. You just kind of watch me and figure. Let's see what you're able to do.
You watch me, and then you tell me what I do, and then you'll know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the right person is going to identify the opportunities for, change or improvement, right? Like, because they're going to have some experience, in that whatever duty you're looking to fulfill, they'll have some experience, and maybe not doing it the way you do it, but more of a general way that can be applied to many companies, right? Just that function. So that experience they bring is like, oh, well, you know what? We can do this a lot quicker if we just add this or take away that. Like, you know what I mean? So hopefully that person will be, so like they say, it's good to be not a boss, but be a leader, right?
Yeah.
Don't like kind of put your ego aside a little bit and, be open to taking that advice and trying it out, right?
Yeah.
I think that's,
100%. I know this is the next step now. Now that I have some processes in place, I don't find it nearly as embarrassing to try to bring somebody into my mess and be like, hey, yeah, come work for my company.
right.
We have no processes in place and no data, so let's just go from there. But now things are kind of working with themselves, and we're testing the processes right now too. So they seem to be working, right? Like, getting them. It's all about taking action, right? Like, I keep this. It's with everything. Like, when you first start out, like, what stops you the most is actually not taking as much action as you should. And we realized as well, like, I put off doing these processes and getting everything in place, and then once I actually started taking action with it, it ended up being much easier than I expected it to be, right? Like, that was like I said, the elephant in the room, right? Like, don't really want to do that.
What a weight off your shoulders, though, right? When you take the action, it's like, oh, this made my day.
Yeah, and I find it's also kind of made me more excited for the future, right? Like, what's next? Now it's like, okay, now we got this in place. Let's get it working, and let's see what kind of data we can come up with, and let's actually find out. It's much easier to figure out where the company breaks or where the problems are when you have all these processes in place, right? And I mean, that creates the more processes or making them better and going from there, right? So it's exciting. I'm excited.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I think the core values.
Yeah, that's a big one too. Like, your company culture. Has either of you set out like any kind of core values or company culture yet?
I haven't. I've thought about it, but I haven't actually. I started writing some stuff down, but I haven't come to like narrow down what they actually are. But I think it's something that I need to do. I just need to make the time to do it.
Yeah. And I find like
same boat as you, Cali.
for sure. Well, I think we're up on time here. We can get it. Maybe that's what we talk about next time. Some core values or company culture. Maybe it'll force us into a little bit of action between now and next week.
Let's do it, man. Let's come up with
Sounds good.
and talk about it next week. And let's bounce some ideas off each other next week for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, do you want to just do your exit?
Yeah. Well, Brad, why don't you remind everyone, because they might have forgot what you're working on, where you're at, and how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so currently main focus is work on flips right now. We're also working on a conversion project that's coming up and doing some hold properties as well. We're in the Kitchener-Waterloo Cambridge area as one section, and then the Grey and Bruce County. But if you got anything going on in any of those areas and need some help or just want to connect, 519-379-7911 or at brad.plume on Instagram.
Awesome. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. You guys as well, man. Happy Father's Day this weekend. I don't know if you remembered. I have been reminded. We all deserve to give ourselves a pat on the back because, I think what we're doing is primarily not just for ourselves, but our families. So, I'm just giving a salute to you guys. I know you guys are great fathers, and I know that, a lot of what you're doing is for your kids. So, I'm Cali Braithwaite. I'm out of the GTA, but I'm investing all over the country, primarily Southern Ontario and in New Brunswick. I think I have actively, as we speak, around 6 flips right now. So if you do want to reach out, I'm always looking to, partner with other people. And, I am actively looking to raise some capital to help out some of these projects. Get a hold of me at Grow with Cali. You can call me again at 289-207-5316, or you can find me on Facebook, Cali Braithwaite. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you have an awesome weekend. And every week, 3 o'clock, we're going live. Shawn, tell us what's going on, brother.
And again, I'm Shawn Gunther, and I'm out of the Moncton, New Brunswick area, and we're always looking to expand, so I'd love to hear from you if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest here in Moncton, New Brunswick. You can reach me at 506-800-4289. Follow me on Instagram at the Moncton Wholesaler or on Facebook at Shawn Gunther. So thanks again for joining us this week, and hopefully we'll you tune in again next week, same time, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and see you then.